Hey everyone, Ratty here, and today we are checking out sleeptoken's album, Take Me Back to Eden. So before we get into it though, I've already listened to the previous two albums and have videos up for both of them, so make sure to check those out. And then I also want to mention, before I get into this, there were 3 songs on this album that I'd heard previously. It was The Summoning, Ascensionism, and Euclid. So those 3 I've already listened to. I have reactions to them on the channel as videos. One of them I believe is in a compilation, so I'll see if I can find that. If I do though, they'll all be in the description down below. But I will be re-listening to them in this video anyways, so I can have them in the context of the album, which is really important here since we're doing a reaction slash review of the full album. And that means some of my takes may have changed since the original, so it may still be interesting to listen to both. But either way, let's get into the album. First, we've got Chokehold. Let's get into it. Chokehold. Wait a minute. I had my headphones on backwards. How embarrassing. I'll go back to the beginning.
When we were made, it was no accident. We were tangled up like branches in a flood. I come as a blade, a sacred guardian. So you keep me sharp and test my worth in blood. You got me in a chokehold. You got me in a chokehold. You got me in a...
Okay. Okay, let me pause it here really quick. This is a weird song. The production is incredibly weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like almost like really dirty sounding. And I'm not trying to put that in like a negative connotation either. Man, it's so weird because we're getting like these weird synths thrown in here with like this very heavy rock. We're getting some really nice vocal runs that are just kind of thrown in. It's a little bit all over the board, and I just don't know how to feel about it yet. Also, like, and I'm looking at the lyrics, and this might be one of those albums that I just don't get at all, because it's just a bunch of metaphors is what it looks like. Metaphors on metaphors on metaphors. I might need like some context to even like start to put that together, which is crazy because I feel like the last album was pretty, I felt like I was pretty accurate with what the songs are going off of, but this one so far on this song, I have no idea what's happening. Either way though, I think it sounds pretty good, but it feels like it's definitely going to be a grower, like one that I like more and more each song. Sometimes you can kind of tell when a song's going to be like that, and I think that's how this one's going to be. because it's just there's so much to take in right now because it's just all over the place. Those guitar tones are so spicy. Yeah, they are, and it's weird because some of them almost feel like they're being played like synths. Maybe they're like at the same time. It's really interesting. I'm gonna actually go back a little bit though to those guitar tones just to see if there is a synth overlapping with them. So we're at 234.
Come for me.
No, that's strictly guitar there. I'm gonna check earlier. That I don't know. It could be guitar tones that are being like distorted or something. That though I think could be some form of synth. That's hard to tell though.
Beneath the stormy seas, above the mountain peaks, it's all the same to me. It makes no difference. I've seen my days unfold, done the impossible. I've turned my walls to gold to bring you home again. So show me that which I cannot see, even if it hurts me, even if I can't sleep.
I love this part.
Act out of a holy duty to be constantly aware. You got me in a chokehold. You got me in a chokehold.
Am I crazy, or is it a little weird that this one ended with a fade out? It felt like it didn't need to, but it's almost like they just did it just to do it. Either way though, I think that's a good song. I really like the last half more than I like the first half, but I think the first half is going to be more of a grower thing where I like it more over time. Once I've actually had the time to really take in all of the different elements of what's going on in the first half, because the first half is crazy. I think the second half becomes a little bit more linear and more digestible on first listen, especially with the vocal. I feel like the vocals are really, really good in that second half and really easy to kind of, like, I could see myself picking those up on second listen and trying to like sing along to it, I guess. Yeah, it was an interesting song and I really liked it. And is he still talking about that significant person from the second album? That might be what this is about. I just assumed that it would be a different topic, but I don't know yet. We're too early to see. The production of the drums on this album is amazing. That is one thing I'll say. It's two, right? Two that does the drums. The drummer in Sleeptoken is like really, really good. His work really shines through on these songs. Like in this one, it feels really unique. It doesn't feel like it's a run of the mill like drum percussion backbeat or anything. It actually feels like it's something really unique with each song, especially some of the ones that were on the previous album. some of the songs with like percussion was actually going so crazy. Because it's kind of comes across as subtle, but then when you actually listen into it, it's like, wow, it really does feel like it's its own monster within the song. Sleep Token is so interesting. They don't use common time signatures. You just somehow flow with the music. Yeah, and I think that's part of why like the whole percussion thing is so crazy, because it's not like, again, it's not normal. It's like, it's very unique. Get up for this Sad Panda. That's still pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I know they did that with some of the first album too. The second album didn't have any weird fade outs. Radio play isn't as big of a thing, so half these fade outs just aren't necessary. Maybe it fades into the next song though in a way that works well. We'll have to see. Also, wasn't this one? Yeah, it shows here that there's like I think a music video for this, but it didn't. Oh, okay. It's kind of looks like it's more of a visualizer than anything. I'm just gonna take a little quick look at whatever this thing is. You know, this kind of looks like the monster in the music video on the last album. There was like the creepy like spider monster in that house on one of the music videos. I'm wondering if that's what that's supposed to be. So we've got the summoning. So this one I wasn't sure if I've heard before. I think I have. Oh, the image for this song is crazy. That's one thing I will say. Their art direction is so cool. From just the masks to the actual like music videos, visualizers, the individual like song tracks. Like the tracks have their own album covers. They all look really, really cool. Yeah, I've heard this one.
I've got a river running right into you. I've got a blood trail red in the blue. Something you say or something you do. A taste of the divine. You got my body, flesh and bone, yeah. The sky above, the earth below. Raise me
I love his high note there.
to see the other side. Body, flesh and bone. The sky above, the earth below.
Okay, wait. I forgot that I had this weird guitar section. I say weird, it's really weird to me because the way that it's being played is the same style that's used in those like cyberpunk type songs, those very 80s revival, synth 80s revival, that type of stuff, or synthwave music. They have the same type of guitar solo, so every time I hear it, it catches me off guard. Especially because this is, in my opinion, one of their heaviest songs, at least like this first section, with just how they're playing the guitar, the screaming, all that. It just all that comes together, and you're like, yeah, this is a very metal song. And then you get this guitar solo, and then you get that chorus too. And the chorus, to me, it's not quite a juxtaposition, but it's like writing the line. But yeah, this is definitely an interesting song. Anyways, though, let's get back to it.
The sky above, the earth below. Raise me
this part either. This section is so cool. Yeah, okay, I definitely remember this part. Holy cow, this... How does it become so funky? Yeah, it's such a crazy song. So that's one I know I've heard it a couple times, but it's weird because listening to it again, it's like I didn't remember the second like synthy section. Again, it's weird. How does this song go from being like metal, then we get some weird like synthwave guitar solo, and then we go into an actual like synth section towards the end, and then we get into this really like funky groovy section? Like, this is such a wild song, and I understand why it has so many plays. Like, it kind of feels like a good combination of a lot of different styles that Sleeptoken gets into in the previous two albums, and even a little bit more than what we previously had. It's such a good song, easy to get into. Well, I don't even know if it's easy to get into because it's weird. It is a weird song. I think there's a section in there though for like everybody, because it is all over the place. Honestly, I kind of wish that the whole song was more of the synthwave stuff with that really funky section, because as you guys know, I'm not as big on metal as other genres. Like, I don't want to even say that because it's kind of hit or miss, but for Sleeptoken metal, I definitely prefer their other styles over their metal stuff. I'll just put it like that, because that I know for sure. But yeah, because that last half is so good. It's my favorite part of the song for sure. All right, let's do this. Sleeptoken, Granite.
Sulfur on your breath, granite in my chest. You will never have to talk about it. You'll never want to talk about it. Fury, too damn late. Reason dislocates, and you'll never have to talk about it. You'll never want to talk about it. I was more than just a body in your passenger seat, and you were more than was destined to meet. I see you go half blind when you're looking at me, but I am between the second-hand smoke and the glass on the street. You gave me nothing whatsoever but a reason to leave. You say you want me, but you know I'm not what you need, but I am. When you sit there acting like you know.
Okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit. That part sounds like it's gonna go ham, but it's going through my head because I'm sitting here and I was trying to listen in for the percussion on this one, and I realized it's a simple stomp and clap percussion, which I find interesting because you get a lot of people that will complain about stomp and clap percussion from what I've heard, and I don't get that sentiment because there's so many songs that use it. Like, this is a really, really good example of a stomp and clap production that like does not sound like the basic Home Depot stomp and clap sound that you'd be expecting. So I don't know, I just wanted to bring up that people shouldn't be overgeneralizing types of production like that, because you get examples like this that just sound completely different. Like, it is stomp and clap, but because of how it's mixed and mastered in there and so far back in the layering, it works really, really well and doesn't sound like your basic run-of-the-mill stomp and clap production. Plus, of course, we got all sorts of other sleep token-esque elements all over the place to kind of help change it up even more. And that being said, the actual production of this one, like I don't even know what that is, like the synthy sound that's been going on this whole time. It's kind of a simple thing, but it sounds really, really good. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know. I don't even know how much. It feels like it hasn't changed very much, but it doesn't feel repetitive or anything either. Also, am I crazy to say that this song feels like a mix between the stuff on this album so far and the last album? This one definitely feels to me like it's a nice mix of the two. We'll see, though. Their songs change a lot. They have a lot of progression within the song, and we're only a minute in, so it could change up a lot. Anyways, though, let's get back to it.
When you sit there acting like you know me, acting like you only brought me here to get below me. Never mind the death threats, plotting at the door. We'd rather be 6 feet under than be lonely. And if you had a problem, then you should have told me. Before you started getting all aggressive and controlling. You only drink the water when you think it's holy. So keep an eye on the road, or we will both be here for it's more than just a body in your passenger seat. And you are more than just somebody I was destined to meet. I see you go half blind when you're looking at me, but I am between the second-hand smoke and the glass on the street. You gave me nothing whatsoever but a reason to leave. You say you want me, but you know I'm not what you need, but I am.
Oh, I like that distortion. It's kind of got like an 8-bit overlay too with the distortion. That was awesome.
I was more than just a body in your passenger seat, and you were more than just somebody I was destined to meet. I see you go half blind when you're looking at me, but I am between the second-hand smoke and the glass on the street. You gave me nothing whatsoever but a reason to leave. You say you want me, but you know I'm not what you need, but I
Absolute banger. That was a really good one. I like that one. Man, I don't want to say I like it more than the last one yet, but at the same time, I think there's just two, because the last half of the summoning I do really, really love, but I think this song as a whole, like, I like this song throughout a lot more than what I do the summoning as a whole. Especially because the heavier section, this last third or so of the song, where they kind of went more metal, it's weird how they were able to keep it so melodic for being metal. Like it really matched the rest of the production from previously in the song. Like it felt like it was a nice transition into it, and it didn't feel super harsh or anything. Like I said, it felt very melodic. And I think they did an excellent job with that transition, by the way. Like that was really well done, especially because I think if you're getting people who aren't as much into the heavy stuff or the metal stuff, that's how you do it. You get them with those very melodic sections that are just intertwined really well. And then when they have the layering of the synths and just different parts of the production from earlier in the song behind the heavier section too, it's just a really nice sound. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the kings of layering. From to the vocals to the production, everything that they do when it comes to layering is done really well. They are definitely up there for one of the best bands when it comes to using layers right. I feel like the layers in their music are done really well and really help fill out their songs. Like their songs are very full and have so much going on, but at the same time it's not overwhelming to an extent where it's like too much. Like they've definitely found a really nice balance. Up next we have Aqua Regia. Maybe I said that right, I don't know. I gotta stop shaking my desk.
Bouncing off the walls, between teeth on a broken jaw, following a blood trail, frothing at the mole. These days I'm a circuit board, integrated hardware you cannot afford. The perfect start to a perfect war, putting down the roses, picking up the sword. Aqua Regia.
I was saying it wrong.
Aqua Regia. My past is a holy book, a call from Olympus ringing off the hook. Between the pain and the way you look, I'm stuck in a time where the mountains shook. And these days I'm a picture frame, screaming out the sunshine, singing in the rain. Sugar on the blood cells, carbon on the brain. Out of Eden's vices running through my veins. Aqua Regia, oxytocin running in the ether. Silicon ballrooms, subatomic interactions if it's all good. Gold rush, acid flux, saturate me, I can't get enough. Cold blood, hot blood, running to your heart when you're thinking of.
Okay. How did they do this? Like this is so jazzy. The piano is very jazzy. And it sounds like the section that we're gonna get into might be kind of jazzy too. So far I feel like this album is just has a definitely a pretty big focus on jazz and funk, or really just that the combination between the two, like a funky jazz and then mixed with metal. We're sticking to a nice sound theme so far. Like they're hitting a bunch of different basses at the same time, but I can feel those dots connecting already. Yeah, it sounds fantastic so far. And there was actually a line that stuck out to me when I first heard it. These days I'm a circuit board, integrated hardware you cannot afford. Perfect start to the perfect war. Putting down the roses, picking up the sword. And the only reason I think that really stuck out to me is because it immediately clicked in my head, going back to the art on each of the tracks. Because I thought about it, and they're all kind of like weird, like pagan monster cyborgs. Well, at least that's how I look at them. They really look like there's some sort of like pagan cyborg. I don't know if that's some sort of reference to that or what, but that's the connection that I'm making. Let's get back to it though.
Hot blood, running to your heart when you're thinking of.
Now that's very 80s.
When I'm dancing to alarm bells, no wonder my ears are still ringing. And I'm done fighting off change. No wonder my arms are still swinging. Aqua Regia, oxytocin running in the ether. Silicon ballrooms, subatomic interactions if it's all good. Gold rock, acid flood, saturate me, I can't get enough. Cold love, hot blood, running to your heart when you're thinking of.
You know, I feel like I've heard a similar progression in another song at some point. I don't know what it is though. That was a fun song though, for sure. What's interesting is it got into like a lo-fi beat there for a second during the bridge, which caught me off guard because I'm like, yeah, we went from jazz, like a jazzy sound, into this lo-fi beat just thrown in there. It worked. It caught me off guard because I'm like, instantly I'm like, that's lo-fi. Very, very interesting. So yeah, very solid song. I definitely enjoy that one quite a bit. It's cool hearing this very jazzy sound from sleeptoken. And again, I'm getting like a lot of speakeasy vibes from this, or like cigar lounge. You know, that could be just a me thing though. I think it'd fit in that environment though. Other than the cyborg line, I really don't have much to say about the lyrics though. Again, every song that we've heard so far has been very, very cryptic compared to the last album was definitely cryptic, but not to this extent. I was able to pick apart the last one. This one, I'm really not sure. And I don't want to go through like the Genius annotations to find out, because I think it's better to try to build my own interpretation. We did get an Eden mention though, which is interesting. I just don't know where that comes in. This could be something where I get a better idea as the album progresses. I don't know yet. Reminds me of an anime. I'm glad you said that because I thought that briefly, but I just didn't say it because I was thinking of Evangelion with like their different versions of Fly Me to the Moon at each episode. That was what was going through my head a little bit, how the piano's played in some of those versions. Up next, we have Vore. Oh. Okay. Is there eating sounds in the background in the beginning? Am I crazy? I don't want to listen to it again because it kind of grosses me out, but I'm going to go back. I'll put my life on the line here to double check that. It is! That is so gross! Oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps again. Okay, let me pause here for a minute. You know, this is really good, like really good. I was a little iffy from the start when we start out with literal eating sounds. Y'all know how I am with eating sounds. Holy cow, I cannot stand them. They gross me out so bad, or just mouth noises, depending on how they're recorded. Ugh, I can't stand them. But you know, I'm really liking this one. Even the screaming, it's weird because it's almost like black metal screaming, but it's not because they're singing unintelligibly, it's because of how it's mixed and mastered. Their mixing makes it kind of muffled sounding. So it's not like in black metal where what they're saying is unhearable because they're like either mumbling so hard or they're like what they're saying is like, I don't know, they have a way of putting or screaming in black metal that's unintelligible. So it's like that, but it's you can still kind of pick apart what they're saying just because it's muffled instead. Which is really interesting. And I really like it. And then I just wasn't expecting that production switch. It almost sounds like a Guzang or something if it was Americanized. It's a really cool sound. And I think we're about to get into another section that I'm really gonna love too. That might be a Guzang. Oh my god. That monster has titties. Again, we get an I don't know what's up with this album and the last one, or not the last one, the first one with these fade outs. They're so unnecessary. That was a really, really good song though, and I think it's my favorite so far. I really, really love that song. I feel like the screaming was done very tastefully. The only downside was the 10-second intro with the eating sounds. I don't need that. Not for me, but everything else has been awesome. And it's interesting because I'm not usually like the biggest person on screaming, but it felt like it was done really, really well here. Again, I liked how it was mixed in. I like the very muffled sound it has. I've never heard somebody quite mix and master the screaming to sound like that. This is a first time for me that it sounds like this. The best way I can describe it is slightly muffled. I don't know. But yeah, that one's really good. And I love the sections in between too that aren't screaming. The songs that are, or the parts that are more melodic and interesting. And I think what makes those parts really cool is that I'm pretty sure, don't take my word on this, but I'm pretty sure there's a guzheng being played. If not a guzheng, it might be some other traditional Chinese instrument. It honestly could be a Japanese instrument too, I'm not sure. Some of the instruments from both of their cultures have similar sounds. It kind of depends on which ones. Like I said though, it just feels sort of like Americanized, or not even Americanized, just Westernized, I guess. Okay, up next we have Ascensionism. This one I have heard. I might have the reaction actually on my channel somewhere. If you're watching this in the future in the edited version, which will eventually exist, I think there's a video, and if there is, I'll link it in the description. Let's get to re-listen on Ascensionism. This is such a beautiful song.
Well, I know what you want from me. You want someone to be. Your reflection, your bitter deception, setting you free. So you take what you want, then leave.
Yeah, I still really love that intro a lot. It's a very, very beautiful intro, and I think that is just the best word for it, beautiful. I think it's done really, really well. It creates a lot of emotions right off the bat, and of course with the next part up, we know that it takes kind of a turn, an interesting turn for sure. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites from sleeptoken. I need to see how many times I've listened, because this is one of my favorites for sure. I've listened to this one a lot. Okay, yeah, I've listened to that one 23 times. Probably more than that. Last FM's not 100% accurate. Anyways though, let me get back to it.
Who made you like this? Who encrypted your dark gospel in body language? Synapses snap back in blissful language. Tell me you met me in past lives, past
The backing vocals in this section are really good too.
Eating me from the inside, darling. Half algorithm, half deity, glitches in the code, or gaps in a strange dream. Tell me you guessed my future and it mapped onto your fantasy. Tell me into your mannequin and I'll turn you into my puppetry. Won't you come and dance in the dark with me? Show me what you are. I am desperate to know. Nobody better than the perfect enemy. Digital demons make the night feel heavenly. Make it real, 'cause anything's better. paradise. Diamonds in the trees, pentagrams in the night sky. Lipstick chemtrails, red.
Alright, I'm gonna pause it here really quick, just because I'm gonna forget to mention this. So as I'm trying to pay a little bit more attention on this listen, one of these lines, the half algorithm, half deity. You know what's interesting? Earlier I mentioned how I picture all of these like creatures that they've created for this album as like pagan cyborgs. Half algorithm, half deity. When you put those two things together, I get pagan cyborg once again. I'm pretty sure that's what these monsters are. Pagan gods that are also cyborgs. It's such a weird thing. I think the best example to kind of like picture that, other than the pictures that they provide of the monsters, is like the game Forever Winter. Because that game has a bunch of like really screwed up half cyborg, half biological creatures that I think kind of fit that description as well. At least that's what goes through my head. And I feel like there was another line too that kind of helped. Oh yeah, the digital demons. I think that one also stands out. Also, I really like on the digital demons make the night feel heavenly. That line, I like how they add the vocal effect that kind of gives it that digital sound. I think that was a nice touch. Subtle, but works really well. This track's a bit better than the last, easier vibe in comparison. When I'm re-listening to this one in comparison to the next or the last one, I think it is. I think this one is the better song. I don't even know if it's close. The last one is really, really good, but this one is like, add a third really to that. And I think that's this song. This one is really well done. And it has that interesting vibe that we get from the summoning. The summoning, that last half of the song, I think, has a correlation in sound to this section of this song. Anyways, let's get back to it.
Grams in the night sky. Lipstick chemtrails, red flags, pink nails with one eye on the door, other eye on a rail, other eye following a scarlet trail, and the last few drops from the holy grail. Now rose gold chain strip, lace cut glass, blood stains at the collar piece. Just don't ask me, the first to the feast. Let's choke on the past and take to the broken skies at last.
The piano is so well done on this one.
Diamonds in the trees, pentagrams in the night sky.
Actual goosebumps every time. Oh my god. That quick little drum fill is really good.
I know what you want from me. You want the same as me. My redemption, eternal ascension, setting me free. So I'll take
Yeah, that song is crazy. That's one of the best songs in their discography, like 100%. Like, you can see how they've gotten to this point. When you listen back to the other albums, you're like, you get to see them evolve over time, and then you get a masterpiece like this, and it all adds up. It's like, oh, of course they made something this crazy after all those other bangers. Yeah, a very, very good song. It's definitely one of their like magnum opuses. Can you have multiple magnum opuses? I'm not really sure if that makes sense, but I want to say that it definitely is one of them that they have, and it really shows what all of their work has amounted to. Something crazy like this. The piano ballad sections are very emotional, just from the actual instrumentals alone, which they're really good at doing. They're really good at creating emotions through instrumentals. Like, you could cut out the lyrics on half of their songs and you'd still be able to feel the emotions. I think they're really, really good at doing that. And the piano ballads on this song are a great example of that. And then this way that the screaming sections and the heavier sections are done, they meld so well with those piano ballads, it's uncanny. I don't know how they managed to do it so well, but they do. And that combination really, really makes this song. And then, of course, you have this weird rap. It's not really rap, but I don't know what else to call it right now. I'm just going to call it like the rap sections. You get those in there and it's like, how do these work? But somehow they do. Somehow they make them work. But yeah, really, really good song. Are You Really Okay? That is the next track. This does not sound like Sleeptoken. Holy cow.
I raised you in the dark, caught you reading by the sunrise. You wandered from the path through the silence of the hillside. Don't you know I could see it in you even then? And don't you know I was trying to hold back the darkness? And are you really okay? Are you really okay?
Okay. Here I go. I'm crying again. I didn't know if it hit on this album. That's a very sad but relatable song. Like I was talking about with the last album, it's like I've had very dark years of my life. So a song like this, it definitely hits very hard for me because I'm able to relate to it so much. It's kind of a stereotypical thing where it's like you ask someone if they're okay, and of course they're gonna say okay even if they're not. And it's just another thing that so many people are going to be able to relate to. I don't know. It definitely hits hard for me though, for sure. And it sounds so good. From just this guitar riff that's been happening, it's pretty, but it's simple. And I think some of the prettiest songs are from something so simple. They're born out of something that's just so simple, which this one has done. It's just these crazy vocals, which sound beautiful, mixed with this very subtle but beautiful instrumental. The vocals on this one are some of the best that I've heard from Sleeptoken. They're very, very solid. That was a very sad song. Man, that one got me crying like no other. That might have me crying more than I did on any of the songs from the last album. I cried like 3 times for that one. Very good song. I love the vocals, especially during the chorus. Are you really okay? It's so pretty. And again, I hate to go back to just mentioning how simple that production is for the first half, but we get that simple production that's just really beautiful, but then they stack onto it for the second half, add in the heavier guitars, and just the energy output goes crazy. But what's interesting is that they're able to go a lot more heavy, yet the emotions aren't lost. I think they hold on really well, even with the heavier instrumental in that second half. And I think it's especially sad when you get to the verse 2. You woke me up one night, dripping crimson on the carpet, obviously from cuts. It actually says that in the next couple lines. Saw it in your eyes, cutting deeper than the scars could run. So obviously at that line he's saying like the emotions are hurt way more than what the actual cuts do. And I think that line definitely sticks out to me. I mean, I've known people that have gone through that. I haven't cut myself, but I understand those emotions very greatly. I can deeply relate to that in a lot of different ways. And I think a lot of people can, unfortunately. It's one of those things though. And I think because it is relatable, it definitely hurts and hits even harder. A very emotional song, and it's done in a really good way. And I think it's almost funny with how the instrumental almost has like a happy sound to it. It feels empathetic. The instrumental feels very empathetic, or sympathetic, whichever. I think both would apply. I don't know, that's how I feel about that instrumental. Like it gives off the emotion of like sympathy or empathy in a way that I can't quite describe. That's just how I pick up on it. And I think that matched with the lines of this from the perspective of someone that's trying to show their sympathies for someone who's going through such a hard time. I think that really fits well together. Yeah, either way though, good song. We'll see if we get to a different feeling on this next song. I don't know if I can handle crying for another 4 minutes. All right, let's do this. We got the Apparition.
Why are you never real? Whenever you appear, you leave me with that grace. I am trembling with fear, but I know that you will disappear just as I awake, a whisper in my ear. Well, I believe that somewhere in the past something was between you and I, my dear, and it remains with me to this day. No matter what I do, the scar will never fade.
There's a lot of like synthwave sounds on this album.
So let's make trouble in the dream world. Hijack heaven with another memory go. I'll make the most of the turning tide. It's just split what's left of the burning silence. Don't wait, cause this could be the last time you turn up in the reveries of my mind. I'll wake up to a suicide frenzy. Loaded dreams still
Man, I hate that I have to pause during these. But yeah, this is a really good song, as we can tell from my cat's arrival. It's very interesting how they really get into these synthwave sections into all, like, it's like the third or fourth time this has happened on this album so far. Sorry if the mic's in a weird spot. The cat's kind of in the way. And it's so unexpected, and somehow they just make it work. But they've done that so well with other genres too, where they just kind of throw them in there and they work. They're very good at mixing genres. They're very good at that. Setting you down. All right, but yeah, it's a really good song. I'm just gonna get back into it. I just had to pause for copyright reasons. This flow sounds like it would be like a scrapped verse from Ascensionism. I don't actually mind the fade out on as much on this song as I do some of the other ones. Just because at least this is like a dynamic fade out. They change up the song for the fade out, so it's like a new section. Because they have those like backing vocals thrown in. Yeah, that was a very solid song. I kind of got lost in the sauce in this one, not gonna lie. Like, I was just getting really caught up in it, which is why I paused so late too. It's just like, I'm really getting into it. Very good song though. I love the synthwave influences that are present in the song. This one, I think once I make a video, I'm probably gonna listen to it a few more times and then add in something. One thing I do want to mention once again is that the flow in that last third of the song really does sound like it was part of Ascensionism. Like, it was almost some section of it that they scrapped and then they moved on to this song and threw it in there. I could be wrong. They could have purposely just made it sound like that, but to me, it really feels like it could have been from that song originally. Really good song though. I love that one. These second two albums are definitely better than their first. They make genres, but the songs progress so naturally. Yes, exactly. How do they do it? The world may never know. Up next we have DYWTYLM. Wonder what that stands for. I bet the lyrics are going to give that away, hopefully. If not, then I will not know. Okay, this production goes hard already. Holy cow. It's like a heart monster.
Do you roll with the waves? Or do you duck into deep blue safety?
This is a good use of a
Is it
voice
always the
for auto-tune.
same? Do you wish that you loved me? Do you pull out the chains? Or do you push into constant aching each and every day? Do you wish that you loved me?
There we go. That's title. Oh.
Is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Do you know what it is? Do you wish that you loved me? Now are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Can you ever forgive yourself? Do you wish that you loved me?
Damn.
My reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should, and I would turn into a that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. Do you ever believe?
All right, I'll pause it here. This is a strange song. I really, really love it, but it's strange because it feels almost like they took generic pop and made it interesting. I don't know, that might be a weird take to have too, I'm not sure, but it does feel like there's a lot of generic pop elements, but they took it and were like, let's make this actually unique and something cool. Because the production, like the breaths, how those are included with the full stop, I think it's like, oh my God, there's a lot going in my head that I'm trying to all flood out at once. My thoughts are too fast for my words. Maybe a good comparison would be like with MGMT, how they purposely tried to make their hit album. It was supposed to be making fun of pop music, like generic pop music, and then they made some absolute bangers. That's kind of how this feels. The song is so out of left field. It is, but you know, I'm still not sure if it really is too different from the rest of the album. That's what's weird. Somehow they get all of these different sounds to just work in this album without them feeling like they're super, super out of place. Like this one is the most out of place, but it still doesn't feel like it's super interruptive or something. Anyways, though, I've talked too long. Let me get back to it.
What it is, maybe not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. Do you ever believe that we can turn into different people? It's getting harder to be myself. Do you wish that you loved me?
I love the backing vocals on this one a lot.
Could we ever release? Is it better to just not feel? Can we hit delete? Do you wish that you loved me? And it's been so long that I'm forgetting what it feels like, but I'd rather not remind myself and leave it all behind. And I try so hard to fix it up, but nothing seems to help. But I cannot hope to give you what I cannot give myself. Do you wish that you loved me? Small bird. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Oh, whoa. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Small bird. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Oh, whoa. Do you wish that you loved me?
What a really good song. I think it's one of those ones where it's a little more just for fun, and it doesn't feel like it's going quite as deep as some of the other ones do. Yeah, it's like it is a nice breather track from the rest of the album. I feel like when I put it like that, it kind of sounds like the rest of the songs are like hard to get through, but obviously that's not what that's supposed to mean. It's nice to have something that's really easily digestible in comparison to some of these other songs, where you really, really have to think about them, I think, a lot more. Well, this one is just, it's so light, fluffy, easy to listen to, and very catchy. I instantly felt like I could sing along to it. And it's weird that it's 4 minutes long, because it really doesn't feel like it. That went by very quickly. Up next, we've got Rain. I'm hoping I like this one because I love rain a lot. That's like my favorite weather. Rainy days. Let's do this.
For so long I've waited, so long that I almost became just a stoic statue fit for nobody. And I don't wanna get in your way, but I finally think I can say that the vicious cycle was over the moment you smiled at me.
Those vocals.
And just like the rain, you cast the dust into night.
Oh, and it's another stomp and clap production.
I feel my shadow dissolving. Will you cleanse me with pleasure? It's that chemical cup that I can get down with, up like the moon and out like the hounds. A dangerous disposition, somehow refracted in light, reflected in sound. I'm coiled up like a venomous serpent, tangled in your trance, and I'm certain you have got your hooks in me. I know the way that it goes. You get what you give, you reap what you sow, and I can see you in my fate. And I know I am what I am, the mouth of the wolf, the eyes of the lamb. So darling, will you saturate? Just stop the rain. You cast the dust into nothing, and wash out the salt from my head. So touch me again. I feel my shadow dissolving. Will you cleanse me with pleasure? Nobody can
Pause right there. So far, this one is pretty good. I think it's in a tough spot because I liked the previous songs before this. I really liked. Like, we had some of the best tracks on the album, like the last four. Five actually. So I think it's in a tough spot because I think I like it just about as much as some of the first tracks, like Chokehold, Granite, Aqua Regia, those songs, which I did really like those ones, but I don't like it quite as much as the ones that we heard right before this one. I think the vocals though on this one are very solid, especially because we're getting so many nice high notes, and the actual like pitch shifts from the lower notes into the high notes are really clean and done really well. And it's kind of just done throughout the song too, which is just even more impressive. So that sounds wonderful. I just don't quite like it as much as I did the previous 4 or 5. Now, let me get back to it. I'm gonna go a little bit further back so we can get a nice clean intro back into that bridge.
Nobody can say for certain if maybe it's all just a game. When I open my eyes to the future, I can hear you say my name. So rain down on me.
Nice vocal layering.
Rain down on me. Rain down on me. Rain down on me. Rain down on me.
And you get the nice little sounds of rain. Sounds like rain going into a drainage ditch. To be a bit too specific. Yeah, I really love that outro a lot. I mean, as soon as you throw in like actual nature sounds into a song, you've already kind of got me, like you're pulling me in a lot more. That's kind of a cheat. A cheat to make me like the song even more is by adding natural sounds into it as a, because literally just take nature and make it into your production, and that's a dub. But yeah, overall this is a very solid song. It's not one of my favorites from the album, but I think it's a nice album song. I probably won't listen to this one much by itself comparatively to what I will like the last one, Apparition, Ascensionism, Vore, etc. Like some of these other ones I think are going to be a lot easier to listen separate from the album. Well, this one definitely feels like it's a very solid album song. And up next we have, ooh, self-titled, Take Me Back to Eden. And it looks like it's the last visualizer we get as well. This one I have high hopes for, considering it's a self-titled. It's like birds. Oh, because it's like the Garden of Eden. That makes sense.
I dream in phosphorescence, bleed through spaces, see you drifting past the fall, but no one told you where to go. We dive through crystal waters, perfect oceans, but no one told me not to breathe. And now the weightlessness recedes. Mama, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth, you know my desire. I will travel far beyond the path of reason. Take me back to Eden. Take me back to Eden.
All right, I'll pause it here. Well, this is an 8-minute song. Dang. Yeah, this is pretty interesting so far. I don't want to say too much about it because we're not even halfway through, but it definitely feels very cinematic. I think Lumi, you said something too about, yeah, being a movie. It definitely feels like that. Right off the bat, we get all of like this major soundscaping going on that's like a jungle or something. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be representative of the Garden of Eden. So you hear all like these animal sounds. It's very natural, just sounds of nature, which it's funny that we get that right after I mentioned how much I like that type of stuff on the last song. I'm pretty sure that's why that is there. And then I find it interesting that we get this sort of Grim Reaper shape. That at first they like to show you the outline of just the wings and the head to make you think that it's an angel, and then it pulls out in the actual visualizer, and then it's the Grim Reaper.
Well, yeah, I spit blood when I wake up. Sink porcelain stain, choking up brain matter and makeup. Just 2 days since the mainframe went down and I'm still
How about, like,
messed up.
semi-rap verse?
Room feels like a meat freezer, I dangling like cold cuts. Missed calls, answer phones from people I just don't trust. Mirror talk, fake love, but I'll take a pound of your flesh before you take a piece of my pay stub. White roses, black doves, godmother, rise up. I need you to see me for what I guess it goes to show, does it not, that we've no idea what we've got until we lose it. And no amount of love will keep it around if we don't choose it. And I don't know what's got its teeth in me, but I'm about to bite back in anger. No amount of self-sorry will bring back the glory of innocence.
Oh no, that was good. Those drums there were crazy. Okay, really quick. In this third verse, it cleared up a lot for me. So obviously this whole thing has kind of been a reference to the Garden of Eden, but I think the third verse cleared up a lot because it showed me that it's more of an allusion to Eden more than anything else. Specifically when we got to the line, or the lines. I guess it goes to show, does it not, that we've no idea what we've got until we lose it. And then, of course, the rest of that verse, I think, adds to that, but those are the main lines. In the Garden of Eden, they eat the apple, they're kicked out. So in this case, it's an allusion to Eden because they're talking about something more. I'm assuming it's just a relationship. We don't know what we've got until it's gone. And I think it extends upon that a little bit with, and no amount of love will keep it around. I don't know, I just think that's really interesting. An interesting way to talk about what I'm assuming is a relationship through an allusion to Eden. It's not the first time I think I've heard it either. I think there was another allusion to Eden in a Hosier album. I think it was the self-titled album, which is funny because we're on a self-titled track right now, but I'm not 100% certain if yeah, I think that was the album. But anyways, I just say that before I forgot. Let me just get back to it though. Unfortunately, another random fade out for no reason. I don't know why they decide to do that on so many of their songs. Yeah, that was a very, very solid song. I liked it more than I did the last one for sure. I love how not only do we get the inclusion of the nature sounds both at the beginning and then a little bit later on, I don't remember exactly where, but I just find the allusion to Eden interesting throughout the song, especially once it was made clear to me by the third verse. And then it just, I think just the cinematic elements of the song are really, really like hypnotizing. You really kind of have to focus in on it and immerse yourself to really, really get into it, because it does feel more or less like it's telling a story both through the production and the lyrics, kind of like a double story. But yeah, a very solid song. To me, it's another song that's definitely an album song, but this one, for a little bit different reason. I think it's just, first of all, it's a really long song, so I wouldn't be listening to it that often anyways. But on top of that, I think because it does tell the story that's very, very relative to the album, it makes more sense for me to listen to it with the rest of the songs. I feel like it fits in really well with the rest of the songs, to the point where I'd rather listen to it with the album than by itself. Again, Euclid is the last of the songs on this album that I've heard before. This was actually the second Sleeptoken song I've ever heard. But yeah, I'm listening to it again for the sake of listening to the album as a whole.
Just run it back, give me 5 whole minutes. I am thick tower on the inside burning. I've got a ghost in the hallway grinning, and a heavy head that won't stop turning. If my fate is a bad collision, and if my mind is an open highway, give me the twilight two-way vision. Give me one last ride on a sunset skylake.
I love this part so much.
You get the chance, I can feel the walls around me closing in. Just running forward, alive like wires, as I see the past on an empty ceiling. I play along with the life signs anyway, but oh to God, you don't know this feeling. Yet in reverse, you were all my symmetry. A parallel I would lay my life on. So if your wings won't find you heaven, I will bring it down like an ancient bygone. Call me when you have the time. I just need to leave this part of me behind. Do you remember me? When the rain gathers, and do you still believe that nothing else matters for me? It's still the autumn leaves, these ancient canopies that we used to lay beneath. No, but no, the night belongs to you. This power's broken through. I must be someone new. No.
All right. Not a good place to pause it, but we have to do it. Yeah, this is by far my favorite track from Sleeptoken. It is really, really good. And I was thinking about it. I really, really want to make a cover of this at some point. That'd be a cool first song for me to put out, a cover of a Sleeptoken track, especially this one. I don't know how I do it though when all I play is the banjo and harmonica. That'd be a pretty weird cover. Throwing some auto-tune in there and you get something really wild. But that's definitely something I would want to do later on once I get the time. I really can't put into words why I love this song so much. That part of it is just, it means a lot to me for what I've done with YouTube, because this is one of my favorite songs that I've heard while reacting. And I've listened to this song so many times. I think my listens for this one might be over 100 times since I heard it for the first time last year. It is my most listened to Sleeptoken track, probably my most listened track, other than a couple from reacting. I'm surprised that this one doesn't have more listens, because it's like, what, 40,000 listens or something on Spotify? Yeah, 40K. 40K listens, one of the least listened to tracks on the album, third least listened to, which is so baffling to me because to me it's easily their best track. Whatever, let's get back to it. Chills every time I hear that line. This is like the greatest like album ender. It's one of the greatest album ending songs that I've ever heard. And in this case, a triple album ending. I really can't put it into words. It's crazy too, because now that I've gone through all three albums, it has like two meanings to me. It's like, of course, it's the triple album ender, but also since I heard it as one of my first Sleeptoken songs, it has this whole separate meaning where I had built my own kind of world around this song in my mind. So it is such a cool song and such a unique song that's, and I think I've talked about this before, but I think I get a unique experience that I got to hear it as one of my first introductions to Sleeptoken, because it's like the whole time it's like I knew the song is coming, and I think almost knowing that it's coming has this, it gives you a weird feeling because I already knew I loved this song, and it's just I got to kind of see the journey that led to it. It's kind of like when there's like movies and shows where you see the ending before, like you see the ending before you get to it. Like they give you a little sneak peek. Like the first season of Invincible, you saw a little bit of what's going on in that one in the first episode or something. Again, it's such a unique feeling that I'm happy that I got to experience. I love this song so much. All right, anyways, let's get to my final thoughts on this album. So this album was interesting. You could definitely see hints of their previous two albums in this one. I think this one's especially interesting because, well, the first album I think was a little bit all over the place and didn't have a super consistent sound. Then the second album had a very consistent sound, and this one feels like it's in a nice spot in the middle where it keeps a sound relatively similar throughout each song. You get a couple outliers here and there, like what's the one that's a bunch of letters? I forgot what the acronym is, but the DYWTYLM. That song, I think, is a slight outlier. It still somehow fits. I don't know how they make it fit, but it kind of fits. There's certain sections of songs that feel like they're slight outliers. So it sort of breaks the bounds of being super consistent while staying mostly consistent. Well, versus, again, the last one was super, super consistent, and the one before that was a little bit all over the place. So it's a nice middle ground between that. I think we gotta get a lot of interesting genres in this album. It feels like they get a little more experimental than what they had in the past. I will say on the first album, they had a couple really weird songs that were like super experimental, and I didn't know where they were going. This one felt like it was experimental, but in like the best way possible. Like it's experiments that worked out really well. And then, of course, I think the vocals are... We might get the best vocals that we've heard on any of the albums in this song. I'm thinking back. I think so. I think the vocal variation on this album is probably the best. And also the production is honestly probably the best on this album too. Like, they've definitely gotten better from album to album with their production skills and vocals. I think this album is definitely proof of that. So overall, a very solid album. That being said, let's get to how I feel about all three albums, like which ones I like the most. I think I might have to listen to them all a couple more times, but I think album 2 is my favorite. Let me pull up its name. Something from the Tomb. I just listened to it for the first time the other day, so I don't know the name off the top of my head. This Place Will Become Your Tomb. So this is a tough choice for me. I think that one's my favorite album just because I love the consistency of that one. I really do. And I think it's the perfect example of a perfect conceptual album where you stick to a style and like there is variation in it, so it's not like repetitive, but they stick to a style and they keep a solid theme throughout every single song. The theme is very present, and it's one of the best themed albums I've ever heard. And this album, it does that, but again, it's more of an in-between where it's mostly consistent, but it has some outliers. Also, I do want to say this album, this newest album, Take Me Back to Eden, does have some of the best songs, though. I think there are more like favorite songs on Take Me Back to Eden than what there are on This Place Will Become Your Tomb. Because when I think to This Place Will Become Your Tomb, there's no songs on there that I'm like, yeah, those are some of my favorite Sleep Token songs. It's really just the idea of like, I look at that album and the album as a whole is just really, really good. Like, there's no songs that I think are like kind of okay or whatever. While on this album, Take Me Back to Eden, there's a couple that I'm like not as into. So that's coming more down to that consistency thing. Like when I think back, I think Chokehold and Granite were just kind of like, they were good, but I didn't like them quite as much as some of the others. Like obviously Euclid, that's my favorite song from Sleep Token. Ascensionism, that's another one of my favorites from Sleep Token. The Summoning, that's another really good one. Vore, that was also really good. And there's just like those back and forths. While we get to, again, back to This Place Will Become Your Tomb, that one is just so consistent and I love every song. So I think that's how I have to put it. And then Sundowning is probably my least favorite. Don't get me wrong, it's a good album, but out of all the albums, there's songs on that album that I just didn't really like that much. Like, they were fine, but that one just had a few that I don't go back to them. So yes, in conclusion, I think the order is This Place Will Become Your Tomb, Take Me Back to Eden, and then Sundowning. That's my thoughts on those three albums. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe. That super helps out the channel. And if you want to take an extra step and support the channel even more, then check out the Fourth Wall Shop link in the description down below. There you can check out my merch, or you could become a member of the channel and get all sorts of perks that come with that. One of the main ones is that you'll get your name at the end of all of my videos in the credit section, so give that a look. Also, as for the merch, this is a fantastic example of one of the things that you can get, this cool Ratty Reacts mug. It's a fan favorite. And yeah, and if you have anything to say about me, the music, the video, whatever, make sure to leave a comment down below. I read all of my comments. And anyways, I will see you later. Bye-bye.